Shalom everyone, this is Rabbi Yonatan with my weekly Torah thought on the end week of the Parsha of Pekudei, the end of the book of Exodus, Chazak, Chazak, V'nitchazek. Also, we call this Shabbat HaChodesh, which is the Shabbat that comes directly before the month of Pesach, the first month according to the Torah, the first month, the head of all the months, meaning the new year. We usually think of that as being later, but this is the new year. And time of renewal of all good things. And one of the things I want to point out in this section is that we read about how our people chose a Paschal lamb. And of course, it's the same one. They took the blood and put it on the doorposts and avoided the angel of death in Egypt. What I really want to focus on is that each family had to eat this Paschal lamb that they took on the 10th of the first month, and Nisan later called, and they had to finish it by morning. So it was a night of eating the Pesach offering with unleavened bread and bitter herbs, matzah, maror. But here's what I want to take note of, which is that if a person couldn't afford to get their own lamb, then the Torah tells us that they should go in on a lamb with their neighbors, and they should then come together for this occasion. I think it's a very interesting idea that the people who had less came together and had a Paschal lamb eating Pesach as it was in those days together. In other words, because they had less, they ended up with a greater amount of connection with people. And isn't this true? The saddest tragedy in the modern world is that the more we have, the more money, the more things we have, the more likely we are to try to protect them, to move into isolated spaces, the walls, not know our neighbors, not know people, not be connected. Whereas if you walk through a little neighborhood in any third world country where everyone's living together, people are crowded together, sometimes you can really be moved by the way in which everyone talks to their neighbors, they talk to you. There's all of that separation, all of that isolation is gone. And there's a very important lesson here, which is even when we experience abundance, we must find a way to continue not to lose this connection with our neighbors, with others, with community. As we come into Pesach, let us reach out to others who may need a place for Pesach or don't have family, or and let us not, even though we love our little families or even the 30 little people in our family, to invite one or two more people. Of course, at our shul, we're taking names of those who need a Seder and who want a Seder. Please be one of those. And please remember that sometimes the more you have of one thing, the less you have of another. And if the more you have of stuff and money, but the less you have of connection and community, then what do we really have? Shabbat Shalom and Shabbat HaChodesh Tov.